45 drivers, 16 nationalities, 3 champions, 1 champion. Road to Indy TV.
On behalf of everyone at Cooper Tires, drivers, start your engines!
And with that, engines come to life. John Phippen, we have 14 drivers at Indy Pro 2000 ready to go at it here today. Again, it'll be Kirkwood and Lint, the 2 championship challengers on the front row.
Thanks, Rob Howden, as our final race of the day gets ready to kick off as we see all of these drivers. Again, with the exception of Corey Enders, who was a late withdrawal, a late scratch, if you will, from his starting position inside of row 6. He will not be in the field for D-Force Racing, but his teammate, Moises de Oliveira, just in front of him in the number 6 car on the outside of row 5. The pace car rolls away. Kyle Kirkwood follows suit. Rasmus Lind, the points leader, right behind him. As the teams head around for their single pace lap, we'll have the same routine as we had on the previous race. They'll come around and take the start, their first time by here at start-finish. One of the cars a little slow to get away, and the team going to have to get out there and do a restart as one of the cars stalling here on the grid. They're going to push him away. There he does. He gets it away. I believe that was the 98 of Daniel Frost, I'm sorry, right behind him. So Daniel Frost got a little stumble, but was able to get the car refired, and he has continued. So everybody's going to get it done, and we are getting ready to send the cars around for their pace lap. Rusty Bell, ready for the final race of the day?
We are ready. It's been a great day so far. Looking forward to this one as these Cooper Tires Indy Pro 2000 cars make their way down the straightaway. Already weaving back and forth. They've only got the 1 pace lap to get everything up to temperature. And we will see the green flag this time by. Cars have all caught up with the pack after that little stall we had. So looking forward to getting this one underway.
Heading down toward Brian Culbertson, who is calling the action from the top of turn number 5. Brian, field coming into your view as we got a brief 1-lap pace lap here before we go racing.
Yeah, and hopefully this is the only time we see the pace car the rest of the day here. I look forward to good, clean, green to checkered race here out of these guys. We'll see. Lynn, your points leader, starting on the front row. Kyle Kirkwood having a great run in the last couple races here. Fields making their way onto the back the back part of the track. Tom Michaels there in front of you.
Yep, they come over the little bit of a rise there into turn 8 to off camber turn 9. Then another little bit of a rise. The cars get really, they lose a little bit of their downforce right there because they're coming up over that little bit of a ridge. All of them right now down underneath the Total Courts Bridge. Sweeping right-hander at turn number 10. And then into turn number 11, a very, very fast part of this race course. John, they're in front of you.
My name's John Phippen. I'm standing alongside Rob Howden. He'll call the start as they're beginning to form up 2 by 2.
Here we go, folks. Championship challengers ready to go. Rasmus Lind on the outside leading the points, but Kyle Kirkwood, the man with the momentum right now, coming out of the final corner, stacking it up. Green, green, green. Little bit discombobulated, a little bit further back. In fact, no, we got full course yellows. Full course yellow here at start-finish. They did not like it.
They're waving off the start.
Yeah, they did not like that one at all. It seemed to me, John, like the front guys looked pretty good, but further back, some guys were trying to get some jumps. There were guys that were out of line. One of them, Antoine Camo, I believe, was out of line. I want to say that it looked to me like potentially one of the exclusive Autosport drivers had to check up and pull to the outside as well. So a little bit of action getting things going here. They'll circulate around one more time. And again, we say hello to everyone listening and watching on the Road to Indy TV app, especially David and Nikki Sharp. They were married today in Winona, Ontario. They're watching the live stream on the Road to Indy TV during the reception. So congratulations to
Mazel tov.
David and Nikki, married today. And at the reception, making sure they get to watch and cheer on their driver, Parker Thompson. So I love that.
I gotcha. Okay.
Good stuff.
I figured there had to be a connection there.
They're big race fans. They come out to the event in Toronto, of course, cheering on the Canadian Parker Thompson and Antonio Serravalle. But we do want to say congratulations to both David and Nikki Sharp on their nuptials today.
Exactly right. Congratulations. As the field hustling around on this second pace lap, the light.
I was going to say,
we're going to get a review of the start.
The interesting thing, John, we get a start like that. We're very, very lucky that we didn't have any contact or any drivers having trouble. There was one driver further back. That's Charles Finelli, was not up into the order. And you can see how it was kind of discombobulated. Antoine Comeau trying to take a run up there in the turn 3 motorsport car. Better just to hold on to your position. I know you can get a jump there, but you know that they were not going to let that one go.
Let's try it again, Rob. Coming to the start this time.
Stack them back up one more time, folks. This time looking decent. Everybody into position. Great jump there for Kyle Kirkwood. Green, green, green. And Rasmus Lint dives in there. Here comes Parker Thompson trying to make a run through as well. They'll work their way out of turn number 1. And again, the front 3 drivers kind of getting in line, John, but everybody else behind 2 by 2.
Rodriguez and Abel side by side in the battle for 4th, coming up into the keyhole. They spread out about 4 wide as they're in the top of the keyhole right now.
Oh, guys, get clean through there. 3 wide through the keyhole, not the way to do it. Rusty, they'll roll their way out of that corner there. A couple drivers dropping some dust, but otherwise, good up front for the driver like Kyle Kirkwood.
Down the straightaway, but a big battle, though, going on a little bit behind there. That's the battle for 4th right now with Jacob Abel and Ian Rodriguez. They are all over each other.
Man, what a move up to the 2nd spot. Not able to hang on to it. Gets off the track.
That's Parker Thompson.
Number 8 car made that move. Thompson was up into the 2nd spot and then came off the track. Lost a couple positions there. So Lintz, your points leader, able to hang on to 2nd. Kirkwood and
Kirkwood with the lead. Then you go back to 2nd place, Rasmus Lint. He's got a slight advantage there over the 3rd place of Parker, and that battle continues there for 4th with Jacob Abel in the position.
Let's recap what happened down in that corner. Parker Thompson had a good round around the outside, but just not able to keep it on the racetrack. Dropped the wheel on the exit of turn number 4. The run back up to 5. He was more worried about getting back on the racetrack. That allowed Lint to go back by, but it also allowed Ian Rodriguez in the number 5 machine, the RP Motorsports car, to take full advantage of that. As John, as you know, if you plant yourself on the outside coming up over turn number 5, you're going to have that run down into turn number 6.
Yeah, that's the whole point. And if Parker Thompson was trying to get the inside run up the hill to turn 5, he just went a little bit too wide, dropped a couple wheels off. As we got, looks like Denis making a move on De La Vera a little deeper in the pack, I think.
Philippe Dennis, yeah.
Yeah. Right now we've got Kyle Kirkwood chasing, but a great battle between Rodriguez and Lint.
Down the straightaway, they touch. We have an impact in the wall here on the outside. That was the 51, Abel, and I think that was Rodriguez, but they touched each other. A little bit of movement going on. Both cars off. We see the safety teams out. Obviously a yellow flag here in this situation. We're going to go full course yellow. We're looking at both drivers. I can see both drivers moving around.
That's good.
Yeah, good to see.
Let me pick that up. That's Daniel Frost of the Exclusive Autosport number 68 and Jacob Abel in the numbers 51. They were running 4th and 5th together. That's some pretty hard impact for both of those cars. The AMR safety crew getting there very quickly. They first get to the number 51 of Jacob Abel. You can see him moving around already in the car. Same goes for Daniel Frost. I was able to see his hands come up in the air.
Yep.
That's some pretty hard contact. And again, great to see that Jacob Abel coming out. Hopefully we'll get a chance to see a replay on this. Otherwise, we're going to go to our turn announcers to see if they can maybe recall what they saw. But ideally, we'll get a full video shot of this coming down into turn number 4. You hate to see this, John, early in a race like this. You know, we're only a couple laps into what is a long race, 25-lap race for these drivers. You can see that Daniel Frost, not a happy camper right now as he's going to get into the safety car, but he is not pleased with the contact he and Jacob Abel made going down into that corner.
Yeah, they were side by side as they left the camera view on that first lap. And Rusty, I don't know if you can. It looks like we've got a replay as we're hearing from. We'll see what we got. Just a little bit of it, and it's already done at this point. They've already come together. As there's.
So the driver's obviously heading down into the braking zone at turn number 4. That's drivers left the outside. You can see that Daniel Frost, more contact further down there. That's going to be almost all the way around. That is the entire left side of the car, right front as well. A little bit of the left rear. Let's see if we who we got down there. Is that Rusty?
Rusty Bell had the bird's eye view.
I was watching that the whole time. About 100 yards down from my position. A little bit of, I'm not going to call it blocking because we don't really call it that here, but a lot of movement going around by the 51 car. And as the 68 Daniel Frost tried to make a move on the outside, it looked like the 51 car moved back across to take the outside line, and they made contact like front tire or front wing to rear of the 51, and that spun the 51 into the wall on the outside of the track, and the 68 just sort of followed him in. Not a lot of damage to the 68, but 51 with significant damage to that machine as he made pretty hard, Jacob Abel, hard impact to that outside wall after getting turned around there on the straightaway.
Well, the good thing was we saw both drivers out of the car under their own power, so no injuries to the drivers. That's the good news.
I just want to say, Rusty, you can call it a block. If it's more than one move, it's a block. As Cameron said, and Cameron Shields, who we had up here with us from Newman Walks Racing, they're instructed, if you come onto the straightaway like you do and you make that move to the inside of the racetrack, you have to hold that. That has to be your entry line. And again, that's what you're giving up. You're giving up the ability for someone to go inside you. You're taking that, but you're giving up the exit speed. So one line is fine, but if a driver makes two moves, makes that first move and then resets back up, as Rusty, you said he did, coming back across the track.
Yeah, it was a block.
Yeah,
there was at least two moves. I think there was more than two.
All right, so that's a double block then, right?
Exactly.
And being told that that is under review. The race officials here are looking at that. Now, there's not going to be much of a penalty you can do right now to Jacob Abel unless they put something on tomorrow's race as well. So
yeah, they could certainly do that.
Tough one for both drivers because I think, number one, Abel was having a really strong weekend. I would like to have seen him get a couple of top fives, good pace out of him. And then, of course, Daniel Frost. It's been such an up and down weekend for Daniel Frost. He won at Lucas Oil Raceway, huge victory, then struggled a bit at Road America, had an incident late in the qualifying run there. Comes back to Toronto and is so strong, able to get a win there, and then to have this issue, which sounds like, and of course we only got a very quick look at the end of the incident on replay. It does not sound like it had anything to do with Daniel Frost just caught up in an incident of another driver potentially getting a little over aggressive on a block.
Exactly right. So both of those drivers obviously out of the running. That leaves 11 cars, and Parker Thompson in the pit lane in the 8 car. So clearly issues for Parker Thompson as well after that very promising qualifying performance in 3rd position, but not going to be able to turn that into points, and that is not what he needed because Rasmus Lind is solidly up in 2nd spot. Kyle Kirkwood, who is only 2 points behind Parker coming into the weekend, was already tied with him with his 2 poles. So now Kyle Kirkwood and Rasmus Lind are going to have a straight fight to close the championship battle down.
We're talking about 2 drivers in the top 4 in the points. 2 of the 4 challengers, really only 4 guys with a really solid shot at winning this championship. So 2 of those drivers already out. And I'm not sure if it was Brian or Tom, but I know one of you guys said that you heard potentially a miss on Parker Thompson. Was the engine a little sour?
Yeah, Thompson came by me down 5 and into turn number 6, and the car was just barely running. I'm surprised he made it back to pit lane.
And you can see down there, it's a long way away. We'll get John to pull those binoculars out, but I think that the good folks from Elite Engines are there. In fact, you can see the hat of Steve Knapp's got the kind of cowboy hat working on. He's going at it. Steve Knapp, of course, former Indianapolis Rookie of the Year, the Indy 500 Rookie of the Year, but one of the best and noted engine builders when it comes to junior open wheel formula, whether it's Formula Fords. And, of course, he and his team responsible for all the engines in USF 2000 and Pro Mazda, tremendous company. They do a great job with the engines, an excellent job with service and support. And they're trying to figure out what's going on with the engine of Parker Thompson. We'll try to get him back out here. But regardless, Parker Thompson has already gone a couple of laps down. And, in fact, as they come across here, I believe it'll be 2 laps down for Parker. Tough one for the Able Motorsports crew. One incident with Jacob, and then, of course, the engine issue here with Parker Thompson.
Want to give a shout out to our honorary starter. We didn't get this information until just now, but Andrew Stover, one of the guests of Cooper Tire, waved the green flag. So give a tip of the hat to Andrew and thank him for that work. We've got our pit reporters on the way down to Parker Thompson to try to get a further report just from our vantage point here. They've got the engine cowling off and they're working in that area of the car, but they could also get one of the side pods off. It could be an electronics problem. It's just conjecture on our part. Rusty, how's the cleanup coming down there?
Well, cars, everybody's, this looks like we're just getting restaged. Both cars have already been record away. I will say that I hope none of these drivers were using the 500 brake marker or the 400 brake marker here going down the straightaway because both of those signs are missing right now. So it starts at 300 going down the straightaway.
Yeah, sorry about your vantage points, guys. Your braking points, you'll have to figure them out yourselves now. And that will happen down in that corner. We've seen it before, but really, again, what this did, let's just talk truths of what happened here. That's championship implication to the track. Mid-Ohio, just where it is in the schedule, is always one of these races where if you do extremely well, that's the momentum that will carry you through to the end. If you have issues, sometimes you can see your championship dreams absolutely going by the wayside. And for Parker Thompson, a very tough one for him. He'll have to come back with a big race tomorrow because Rasmus Lint came in here with a 30-point lead, almost a full day's worth of points. But Kyle Kirkwood really the driver with the momentum right now. 3 wins in the last 4 races. He leads Lint now. Now, again, with Lint right there, he'd be kind of clawing his way back a little bit. But again, Kyle Kirkwood back by just 32 points coming in. 5-6 points at a time, he gets the job done.
Exactly. Get ready. The lights are out on the safety car, so it'll be a single file restart this time, as we'll be completing race lap number 6 this time by. So we'll have 14 laps remaining, assuming we don't have any more yellow flag time.
I think it's 19 laps. It's a 25 lapper, I believe. So I think we've got 19 laps still to go.
Okay.
19.
Rob, calling the restart. Coming to you, buddy.
Here they come. It's still a long way to go. Let's put it that way, folks. They'll come out of the carousel single file this time. Kyle Kirkwood will get back on the throttle early, and they are underway. Kirkwood, your leader. Rasmus Lint jumps into second. And the RP Motorsports looking very good. Ian Rodriguez, Kirkwood's teammate, starting to put some pressure. Up on the gearbox, though, is Stingray Robb in the number 2. He is putting the pressure there. Rusty Bill, a big run down into turn number 2. Stingray Robb getting aggressive.
Got a good run around turn 1, and that allowed him to close within a car length. A great battle, though, right behind. 2 cars side by side. That's Moise De Lavara and Nikita Stoshkin as they make their way down the straightaway. They were side by side through the middle of the corner. Now they come by me, still nose to tail right now. That's going to be close at the top end.
Also a real good battle for second spot. That might have changed positions as they went into the braking zone. The 5 car did make that pass, so Rodriguez gets up to second spot. Those guys battle, and Kirkwood's getting away.
Kirkwood with the lead as they come up through turn number 6. Then there's still a great battle for second, third, and fourth. Indeed, the 5 car has moved up into the second position. Rasmus Lint in 6th. Stingray Robb still riding there in 4th.
RP 1 and 2 with Juncos 3rd and 4th.
Got to give it up for that team. They came over here for the first time last year. A lot of experience in Italian racing, coming over here for the first time in Indy Pro 2000 last year with Harrison Scott and a host of other drivers in that second car. But they really have dialed things in here this weekend. They run 1-2 now. RP Motorsport USA, Kyle Kirkwood, your leader. Ian Rodriguez in second. Rasmus Lint and Stingray Robb, the 2 Juncos racing drivers, running in the 3rd and 4th spot. It was Nikita Lastashkin, the Russian-born driver who lives now in Los Angeles for Exclusive Autosport, veteran here of the Road to Indy. Lastashkin up into the 5th position. Philippe Dennis up to 6th. Saravalli, who started back in 13th, staying out of the chaos, he goes to 7th. De Oliveira in 8th. Antoine Camo had a bit of an off coming through into Thunder Valley through turn number 9, dropped a wheel there. He's 9th. Finelli in 10th. And, of course, as we said, Parker Thompson remains on pit lane. Abel Frost both out of the race early. But as this gets a little cooler, it'll be interesting to see how these drivers handle the grip levels as the Cooper tires continue to grip. The fuel levels go down. We're going to see some pretty good lap times here, I think.
Moy De Lavara was the one who was really got caught out on that last lap as he lost 4 positions as Lastashkin, Dennis, and Saravalli, all 3 got around him.
Let's be real. I'll tell you about one thing here, John. We're all going to work on Lastashkin because for 4 years I called him Nikita Lastoshkin.
Yeah, and that's why
it was okay for him. He didn't tell me. Then I find out earlier this season that I've been saying it wrong. So now we're all trying to relearn. It's Nikita Lastashkin, and I'm doing the best I can for Nikita. We're getting closer, but after 4 years, it's kind of rote, and
yeah,
we're all getting there. So.
Exactly. I had just barely managed Lastoshkin, so and I'm still having trouble with that one. But nonetheless,
I apologize for Nikita for making it harder for you, John.
Exactly right.
It's not
exactly
easy.
Right.
It's not easy. Kirkwood now out to a 1.4 second advantage, and the number 3 of Anton Camo in the turn 3 Motorsports entry coming into pit lane. As I said, he had dropped the wheel over in turn number 9. Drop him now down to 10th. That moves Finelli now up into 9th spot. But your top 5, Kirkwood, Rodriguez, Lint, Robb, and Lastoshkin. You can see as they're working their way again down to turn number 4, 5, and 6. Saravalli, guys, starting to put some pressure on the number 98 of Philippe Dennis.
The race we're seeing right now is kind of what we expect from Kyle Kirkwood based on past experience from my watching him in F4 and F3. He is getting away. And Kyle Kirkwood was one of those drivers, like you said, that just built strength upon strength. He won his first 3 championships here in open wheel racing in commanding fashion.
Exactly that.
And, he was the kind of guy who could just put down laps and get away from the rest of the field. And he's trying to do that right now as the momentum is definitely in his favor. He's drawn away from his teammate by a big bunch up to a almost 3-second lead. I'll wait till 2.2 seconds, the interval between he and Ian Rodriguez.
And I almost wonder, because he did so well in the earlier years of his program, last year resetting the single season victory record for USF 2000 at 13 wins, he was able to show so much patience there. He wasn't always the fastest driver, didn't always qualify. I think he got 5 poles, but 13 victories. He was able to manufacture wins with patience and with controlled aggression. Earlier this year, it was almost like he was in the wrong place at the wrong time too many times. Whether it was qualifying a little further back, he had front wings knocked off at 2 main events. He got a jump start penalty at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course. But when things got to Road America and he settled in and qualified on pole for both races and then won both races, you could just see that flick of the switch that I saw of Kyle Kirk when he was a young karting racer in the junior karting ranks and senior karting ranks. When he was on, he was almost unbeatable. And that's the kind of thing we're seeing now. He's got that confidence not only in himself, but in the team. That's why he's doing so well now. And this is, to be honest, this could be a run to the end of the season for Kyle Kirkwood. Rasmus Lindt's going to put up a fight. But if Kyle Kirkwood wins all the way through to the end of the season, John, like he did last year, what's going to happen to Laguna?
He could do it.
Yeah.
I mean, he could do it.
You know it, I know it.
He can get on a roll and just drive away from the field. So again, we're not going to crown Kyle Kirkwood just yet, but past experience indicates this young man is something special.
Well, and again, what it is will he make a mistake to the end? Maybe not. But what does Rasmus Lindt do? Because Rasmus is such a talented young driver. He's run to the very world levels of karting, jumped right into USF 2000 last year, was an immediate front runner, not able to get a win last year, but he broke through earlier this year. And from there, he has been, again, the point leader. The consistency of Rasmus Lindt, only off the podium twice. As you said, both of those finishes, though, I believe, in the top 5. So even a second place or a third place run for Rasmus Lindt right now would maintain that point lead.
Let's get just a brief update on the 3-car of Antoine Comeau. He came in for a new front wing. So apparently in that off-course excursion, he got the front wing damage. They replaced it, and he's back out.
And again, for Comeau, it's all about just being on the racetrack right now, getting some seat time. It's his first time racing here. Get him back out on the racetrack. Let him have a couple more starts here with the Indy Pro 2000 drivers. And otherwise, they'll maybe bring him in, make some adjustments, kind of a test session for Comeau. He'll come back strong tomorrow for sure.
This is really the best battle on the race course for 5th, 6th, and 7th, as Lastishkin and Dennis and De La Vera having a great battle.
There's your leader coming through. There's 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Rodriguez, Lindt, and Stingray Robb. They're not separated by even 0.8 of a second. Make that, not even 0.8, just a little under 0.8 of a second. Stingray Robb starting to put some pressure here on Rasmus Lindt, but Stingray Robb's waiting for that win. He's knocking on the door for the first victory, but he's not a driver that's going to risk taking out his teammate to try to get that 3rd spot. That's just who Stingray Robb is. Great young man, fantastic driver, and it's been a privilege to watch him develop over the last couple of years here in Indy Pro 2000. He runs strongly now in 4th. And again, all these drivers, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, battling it out for what I expect, John, to be the 2nd and 3rd rugs of the podium, because Kyle Kirkwood has got his foot on the throttle, and he is not letting up at all.
That battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th coming to Tom Michaels right now.
Yep, we wait for the leader to go by us. Boom, there that is. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. They've been about this distance apart, probably a car length and a half from 2nd to 3rd and 3rd to 4th since very early in this go. Right now, Kyle Kirkwood has the lead, but Rodriguez, Lind, Robb, they are having a dandy tussle.
Just to give you the update, as they run on the racetrack right now, Kyle Kirkwood would have clawed back 10 points, back to just 20 points in arrears of Rasmus Lindt. That's why Rasmus, I think, is probably thinking, hey, let's minimize the damage here. I'd like to go to P2 if possible. Let's cut this this loss of points here by getting around Ian Rodriguez. Rodriguez, a rookie in the series, a rookie in the road to Indy, did not run USF 2000, but great to have him here. And Rusty, you're seeing it here coming through the keyhole, a wider run for Rodriguez. Lindt right on the apex coming out.
Yeah, Lindt got close the last lap and then lost a little bit of ground coming down the straightaway. He tried that move, got side by side. Now Stingray Robb's going to try down the inside, Brian.
Robb looks to the inside. They're both going to take the braking really late. Nice move. Stingray Rob gets that pass done at the end of the straightaway. Now he is going to set his sights and see if he can get around Rodriguez. Those two teammates played that very clean.
Yeah, we'll see if now Stingray Rob able to pull up on the Ian Rodriguez car, which has actually put some distance between himself and that battle now between the teammates for third.
Yeah, not surprising to see Rodriguez get a little bit of a gap there. Of course, side by side going through turn number 4, not the fastest way through that corner, but it's interesting how much Stingray Rob has pulled on Rasmus Lint already. Coming out of this corner here, you'll see them work their way out of the final circuit and across the start-finish line with still a number of laps to go. Still 9 laps remaining, or maybe 10 laps remaining in this contest. Still a ways to go here. And again, now Stingray Rob, what a good run through turn number 1. Rusty Bell getting a great drive up into the keyhole.
Trying to get there right now, about a car length back as he hits the brakes. That's what happened to his teammate on that last go-around, as he tried to really get that car in there, and it killed his exit speed, and that allowed Stingray Rob to get around Rasmus Lint. So we're watching right now as they work their way. Stingray Rob into the draft right now. He may peek out, although a little defensive driving going on.
Yeah, Rob goes to the high side, too long of a way around to get that done, but he falls right back in line. His teammate in the 10 car, Lint, your points leader, pulls right in behind him. So again, we have that 3-way battle for the second spot, but Rob looking really racy this afternoon.
Absolutely. He's put himself there kind of in the cradle between second and fourth right now. Lind, he peeks to the inside as the two teammates come up through Thunder Valley. Just tucks back in behind Rob.
Rasmus would be good to let Stingray go here right now. Last time by, Stingray, the fastest driver on the racetrack. He was 0.3 of a second quicker than even the leader. He is the quickest guy around this track. I think it's only a matter of time before he's able to get by Ian Rodriguez. And I'm going to call it either in turn number 2 or turn number 4 now. They'll work their way through turn number 1. Let's see if Rasmus Lint can get by. He'll go to the outside a little bit. Stingray Rob's going to go to the inside, but Stingray was very good on the brakes coming into turn number 2. You see them running a lot tighter line than Ian Rodriguez as they'll now work their way to the outside of the racetrack. Stingray Rob's got to stay out of his rearview mirror, stay looking forward because he got a good run last time trying to get by Ian Rodriguez. They'll work their way again down this long straightaway through turn number 3, the bend in the corner, down to the hard-braking downhill right-hand turn number 4. And again, not quite close enough this time here for Stingray Rob. He was able to get by his teammate Rasmus Lint, and that's even more rough on Rasmus because he's going to lose a little more ground again. So move Kyle Kirkwood to just 37 points back if they were to finish as they are right now. And again, or make that, is that 27? That's not 37, 27 points back. A big advancement here. And again, as I said, big run for the driver from Florida, Kyle Kirkwood. Impressive here so far, out front by 3.7 seconds. But, you know, Stingray Rob, John, made the move to get by into that third spot. Rasmus has got to be saying, hey, listen, you went by me, it was a good move, but you better go get that guy. Let's do this. Come on.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
And let's give a shout out to Ian Rodriguez, really punching above his weight here this weekend.
Agreed.
His best finish so far this season, a second place at Road America, and he is holding off the points leader and Stingray Rob, a much more experienced driver in this class of racing from Juncos Racing. So good on him to make that happen. In fact, Rob has got to be careful now because his teammate Rasmus Lint, the points leader, coming back at him as they're heading down in front of Rusty.
Yeah, he dove underneath him going into the keyhole turn, and that killed a little momentum there, Brian. They went side by side again, but Lint's got to be careful.
I think Lint's back by, guys. Pick that up. Is that Lint by?
No, Lynn didn't get by. Yeah, he fell back in line. He almost had the pass done on the high side, but he chose wisely and got back in line.
Now a public service announcement. Your leader is still Kyle Kirkwood. They can move back to this battle we've been talking about between Rodriguez, Stingray Rob, and Rasmus Lint. There's no change there.
We'll do a group apology to Christian Rasmussen and Kyle Kirkwood, who we didn't talk about. We didn't talk a lot about Christian as your leader in USF 2000. He went on for the victory. Same goes for Kyle Kirkwood now. The interesting thing I'm seeing about both of the Juncos cars, they were right on top of Rodriguez for a time. It's almost like they're trying to pull that inside line coming through the keyhole to get some air on the front wing. That corner is so tough when you're that close because the corner itself downhill off camber, it wants the car to push away or loose depending on the balance of the car. But if you're right up under someone's gearbox, you lose all that front wing. There's a lot more downforce on these cars than there is USF 2000. It appears that the drivers from Juncos were kind of trying to stay to the inside a little bit to get some front wing, to get some downforce. But then, John, as you know, it's hard to roll on the throttle when you're that close to the apex.
Yeah, exactly right. And Ian Rodriguez has the advantage with a couple car length advantage that he can take the preferred line. He doesn't have to duck down to the inside to try to get more air on that front wing. And Rasmus Lind with that red front wing makes it easy to identify the difference between he and Stingray Robb, as Stingray has the red rear wing on his car. So that's one way to tell those two apart, although the overall livery is very similar.
You know, here's the thing right now. If you're Rasmus Lind, your P4, you know you've got a bit of an advantage coming in. 30 points over top of Parker Thompson, 32 over top of Kyle Kirkwood. It's dropped down now to 27 points because obviously now with Lind falling to fourth, it's changed things a little bit. It's almost one of those deals for Rasmus Lind that you're starting to get worried a little bit that if Kirkwood starts winning some races, this could really put this championship in jeopardy. It could get away. Even though he has the lead right now, it could get away. He's going to have a really good run tomorrow. And then when we get back to the Oval at Gateway at the end of this month and then on to Portland, he's got to have a couple of good runs here because you just don't want a driver, your competition, to do what he's doing now. This would be 4 wins in 5 races. Stingray Robb making a move down there, guys.
Rob looking to the inside, not able to get it done. I tell you what, Rodriguez takes the braking really late. You know, we've been talking about him driving defensive maybe a little bit there, but that time he did that on pure talent. He took his brakes very late.
Yeah, leader, Baez once again in the number 28. And we look, losing a little bit of momentum during that last exchange there. So the distance between third and fourth, Stingray Robb and Rasmus Lind, it's about the same as it was the last time by here.
7 laps remaining when they come by the stripe. Kyle Kirkwood rolling through here, and I believe to complete lap number 18. Indeed, 7 more laps to go. Stingray Robb currently running in that 3rd spot. A little bit of breathing room between he and his teammate as the drivers work their way into turn number 1 here under the shadow of the bridge. Very quick corner here in turn number 1. And indeed, the number 2 of Stingray Robb, the young American from Idaho, has pulled a bit of a gap on his teammate. A little bit of breathing room for Stingray Robb. Only 3 podiums for the young driver this year. He'd like to get back up onto the box and into victory lane. Having a pretty good run. And guys, as you had said, starting to put some pressure again in the draft of Rodriguez. Rusty working down the straightaway.
Yeah, we've got a car off, though. Took a rough ride over turn 1, has stopped. That's the number 6 machine out there of Luis de Olvera, and sitting stationary. Went sideways, big spin there, coming off of the top of the hill there, turn 1, and car's still not moving. We may need to get some safety vehicles out there.
You can see the dust there. Those of you watching on the Road to Indy TV app, a lot of dust coming the outside of turn number 1. There's a good shot of it there. That's Moises de Oliveira off the racetrack. It looks to potentially...
That rear tire looks, it looks askew. So,
that's not the toe out you want to run on the rear. An issue, of course, with De Oliveira, he's going to try to pull away, but you can see that rear. He's just going to try to get this car out of the way, and good for him.
Yep, that's good. That's good sportsmanship right there.
No doubt.
To avoid a yellow flag, get that car out of harm's way.
Moises, just to fill you in, that car's not going anywhere. You got damage to the left rear. It looks like he may try to get back onto the racetrack here now. That's probably not the right thing to do, and he's going to do it. He's going to try to pull back out on the racetrack, and that's got left rear damage. He's going to get right in front here, and I guarantee you race control will be on the radio with this team telling him to get out of the way. Moises de Oliveira bringing that car down the straightaway.
Yep. Right in front of me now, you can see that the toe way out on that, and he's having a struggle.
That's the leader
just
going by.
On track. The leader just went by right now, and he pulls across in front. I think trying to get out of the way, finally realizes there's a lot of damage to that car.
So we were potentially avoiding a full course yellow with Moises de Oliveira pulling what we thought was going to be just behind the barrier. He instead pulls onto the racetrack. De Oliveira, who was running in the 8th position. We'll see what he decides to do. I guarantee you race control is on the radio trying to instruct Moises where to put that car to not bring out a full course yellow. 19 laps down. It'll be 5 laps to go when they come back around. All right, guys, give us an update. Where is Moises de Oliveira parked that car?
Yeah, he's right at the apex of 4. I'm sure Brian's got a good view, and he is sitting, I think, partway on the racetrack, partway off.
Full course yellow, guys.
Yeah, they're going to have to go full course yellow to get his car. As soon as he got in the grass with that, the differential stopped working on that car, and he just got stuck right there.
Moises de Oliveira, guys, spinning in turn number 1 off the racetrack. I'm surprised he couldn't see that in the rearview mirror, but ended up pulling what we thought was behind the barrier instead onto the straightaway. He works his way down into turn number 4, and being told by race control to get off the track, he does so just on the entry into turn number 4. And of course, knowing the kind of passes we get down in that corner, that is a dangerous place to be.
Yep.
Have to go full course yellow. The AMR safety team going to get there, and they're just like, you just stay in the car. we're going to lift this thing up and get you out of here, because 5 laps remaining. And hello, Kyle Kirkwood's 3.5 second lead. Let's call that 0.
Let's say that Moises de Oliveira is not going to be on Kyle's Christmas card list after this.
At all. We talked to Cameron Shields, did we not, about the fact that when he was leading at Lucas Oil Raceway in the Freedom 75, yellow comes out a couple of times for him, and it's just what you don't want to see. You've got that nice gap. You're laying down great lap times. You don't even have to be the fastest guy. He wasn't even the fastest guy on the racetrack.
Sure.
He was just good. And instead, the field going to pack up behind you for what will likely, say they bring it back around. We're 20 laps in. They'll come back around for lap 21, likely going green on lap number 22 if we're lucky. Maybe a 2 or a 3 lap dash as everybody jumping in behind Kyle Kirkwood now. So let's set it up. We're going to have 9 drivers remaining on the racetrack. Kyle Kirkwood will be P1. Ian Rodriguez in second. Stingray Robb third. Good opportunity for Stingray Robb to try to work his way forward as well. This is a guy who wants that first win.
Yep.
Rasmus Lint in 4th. Nikita Lastishkin having a good run here in the 5th spot. Philippe Dennis in 6th. Antonio Saravalli 7th. And Charles Finelli in 8th. Antoine Camo back on the racetrack. Down a lap, as we said. Changed the wing on that machine. 9 drivers. So again, they were able to clear up the issue over in turn number 4.
And let's give a shout out to the AMR safety crew. They are the best in the business. They got that taken care of in short order. We're going to be able to get back to green here. Now, I don't know whether race control will want the field to pack up behind the safety car before we go green, or if they're going to let them go here because we're in the closing bits.
Well, we got some stragglers, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's
the
foremost.
point.
Finelli and Camo. I'm not sure if they're going to worry about waiting for Finelli and Camo to come all around. I guarantee they're on the radio saying, guys, get on it.
Yeah.
It's a green racetrack. Get yourself back around because our leaders just now working their way down into turn number 4. I'll tell you, Stingray Robb must be just frothing at the mouth right now with the opportunity to try to go after Rodriguez, and you never know. At one point, like I said, he was the fastest driver on the racetrack, John.
Yep.
He was 2 to 3 tenths quicker than Kirkwood,
Yep.
faster than Rodriguez. He was able to get by Lint. Stingray Robb may have one of the fastest cars on the racetrack right now, and this is going to give him another opportunity to stay on the podium or potentially move his way forward. But Kyle Kirkwood, guys, he has not put a wheel wrong on restarts this year. Let's see what Kirkwood does here today.
Getting word on the 8 car of Parker Thompson, the gearbox actuator actually failed on the car, wasn't able to shift it, and that's why he was knocked out of the race. So Parker Thompson, second in the points, going to really take a hit here. He's got 211. He's been passed by Kyle Kirkwood, of course, with 228 now. Rasmus Lind, the way it stands right now, with 245.
Yeah, Daniel Frost still there with 195. Stingray Robb 182. Rasmus Lint doesn't have that lead he was hoping for. Guys, we're back to green. Indeed, jumping right into it. Here comes Stingray Robb, a hardcore attack coming down the inside of turn number 1.
He gets it done, Rusty. Can he hang on to it?
Gets it done. He's going to let the car slide out, but that's a great move there. They're not carrying quite as much speed on a restart. He's able to move over to take that inside line, drive it into the keyhole. 3 cars trying to take that spot now, as it looks like Ian Rodriguez going to get hung out on the outside right now, as Rasmus Lint also tries to get around. They're coming down the straightaway. Lint's right behind all 3 of those cars, nose to tail. 3 wide for a second here, coming under braking.
Yeah, we'll see if that's able to hold up. Stingray Robb side by side. They touch. Robb touches right there with Rodriguez. They both able to recover. Stingray Robb's going to stay in. No, Lint gets around Robb. Lint and Robb trade places there just at the exit of 6, and they might have touched. Don't know for sure. Tom Michaels coming at you.
Well, our leader already staking himself to an advantage than the 10 car of Lind. He has a good 5-6 car lengths now on his teammate Stingray Robb, who's in 3rd.
Some aggressive racing here, of course. Final couple of laps here. They'll put lap number 23 in the books as they come back around. All the battling further back has allowed Kyle Kirkwood to stretch away as your race leader. Impressive run for Rasmus Lind. He got aggressive there, able to get back around Stingray Robb, who made some contact down in turn number 4 with Ian Rodriguez. So not the restart that Rodriguez wanted as well. He falls back into the 4th spot. We're going to have another look at this as they come down into turn number 4. As you can see, Stingray Robb to the inside, little push wide at the corner, able to control it. And on the outside, Rodriguez just trying to hold on. I don't think Rodriguez was going to keep that car on the racetrack rolling that much speed from the outside of the corner. I just can't see him staying on the asphalt at that point because so hard to roll that much corner speed out of that corner. But I think one of the cool factors there was the battle that we saw between Nikita Listoshkin and Philippe Dennis. You threw Antonio Saravalli in there as well. They were side by side with Rodriguez as they were coming up over to turn number 4 and down to 5 and 6. So Lastoshkin rather, let's get it right. Nikita really would like a top 5 finish. You can tell his elbows are up right now, not wanting to give anything up here with 2 laps to go. But look at just a couple laps ago, Rasmus Lind was seeing the point gap really start to shrink from P4. Somehow with a restart, he ends up back into 2nd. The gap now getting back up to where he likes it to be, 33 points. White flag flying this time by. Final circuit for Kyle Kirkwood. 2.1 seconds the lead for the driver. He is looking to go 4 for 5 here in the last events of the Road to Indy in the Indy Pro 2000 category. What a tremendous run. And I'm telling you, this is a guy that feeds on confidence. John talked about how good he was in F4, how good he was in F3. We saw him last year in USF 2000. If you gave him an inch, he was going to take a mile. 2.1 seconds the lead for Kyle Kirkwood. He will lead them down the straightaway again into turn number 4. Rasmus Lind in 2nd. Stingray Robb right there in the 3rd spot. I don't think we're going to see any battling between the 2 Juncos racing drivers in 2nd and 3rd now. In fact, the remainder of the field gapped up pretty good after the excitement we saw from that restart. Kyle Kirkwood, though, 4 for 5, man. He is going to be back in the championship battle. He's on pole again tomorrow. Nothing stopping this young driver from Florida right now into Thunder Valley. He'll work his way back up out over to turn number 11.
Stingray Robb is slowing.
Trouble here for Stingray Robb. Being told it's trouble for Stingray Robb. Listoshkin getting by. Nikita Listoshkin, rather, is by as well. What happened to Robb? Let's go back to the leader. Kyle Kirkwood out of the final corner. He wins here today at Mid-Ohio. Kyle Kirkwood, the winner again. 4 for 5. Rasmus Lind 2nd. Ian Rodriguez back to the podium in the 3rd spot. Nikita Lastushkin able to get up to 4th. Trouble for Stingray Robb in the final circuit. John, I wonder, did it have to do with the contact between he and Rodriguez in turn number 4? It was pretty aggressive contact.
I would not be surprised, as that cost him 2 positions as he comes across the line in 5th spot. Philippe Dennis in the 98 car comes home in 6th. Antonio Saravalli in 11th.
Look at the last lap time.
Yeah.
A 1:21.8.
Yeah.
He was well off the pace. 4 seconds off the pace for Stingray Robb. Must have been some damage on the suspension. Here's a look at your top 10, folks. Kyle Kirkwood, his 4th win in the last 5 races. Rasmus Lind, definitely limiting the damage in the points. The gap now, I believe, what are we up to now? 20, maybe 24 points, I believe, between 1st and 2nd. Lind still your point leader. Ian Rodriguez for RP Motorsports Racing into 3rd, so RP with a couple drivers on the podium. Nikita Lastushkin for Exclusive Autosport in 4th. Stingray Robb 5th. Philippe Dennis in 6th spot. Antonio Saravalli in 7th. Charles Finelli 8th. And the last driver to complete the race under the checkered flag, Antoine Camo in number 3.
Hey guys, just finished the podium here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course for the first race of the weekend. For me, I had a fantastic race. I was able to go out there and just manage the pace in front of everyone, which is something a driver always wants to do. So that one was not as cutthroat as most races have been this year, but super thankful to the entire team, RP Motorsports, Mazda, First Techs, the entire crew. They've done a fantastic job, my two mechanics, my engineers, and Cooper Tires, of course, and everyone who makes this happen.